Sometimes it flows gently. Other times it's a torrent. The River Saône stretches for almost 500 kilometers, crossing 7 different regions. Riding along its banks is the perfect way to escape the hustle and bustle of the city.
There's a boat.
It's a boat, yes. It's beautiful.
There's a bard going by. Hello. He looks at the boats, the horses on the riverbank, the cows and the birds. He loves it.
These cyclists have given themselves a fortnight to pedal the 760 kilometers of the Blue Escape Route, which takes them through the Vosges Mountains and the Saône Valley.
We go at a gentle pace. We stop when we want to. We look at the scenery when we want to. It's very, very calm. Anyone can enjoy it.
You can see all that the river has to offer from the comfort of a saddle, and a little detour always throws up a surprise, like the Saint-Albin tunnel. Built in the 19th century, it's over 600 meters long and makes sailing much easier.
Towing is the pulling of the boats along the waterway. It was done either on horseback, or it was the boatmen themselves who would do the towing.
It's really authentic. It's not something artificial. It's part of the landscape. It's really interesting.
The river ports are always nice, and the surrounding countryside is stunning. We love taking in the sights. It's important to take a detour off the main cycle path now and again.
Another hidden treasure is the imposing castle at Rey-sur-Saône. The original building dates from the Middle Ages, but it was rebuilt in the 18th century. Inside, the period objects are all perfectly preserved.
Here we have a large fireplace, which is typical of the houses of this size.
It's a really interesting visit. What's rare is that the castle contains all of its original furnishings. It hasn't been decorated with objects that have been brought in from elsewhere. This is the perfect road for cycling.
Meanwhile, these friends from Burgundy are clocking up the kilometers in the Côte d'Or region. After a few hours of effort, they're rewarded with this 18th century gem, the Château de Talmay.
Hello, gents. This is a family home that's been in our family since 1824.
Ghislaine is the owner of the castle. She loves spending time looking after the orchards. 400 fruit trees were planted here by her grandfather.
One becomes the owner of a castle knowing you have to look after its day-to-day running, but you're just a link in a chain, and the idea is to pass it on to the next person.
I love nature, and I love this garden. And the trees. It's really beautiful.
At the bottom of the garden is this cathedral-like collection of 200-year-old plane trees, standing 40 meters tall. It's the perfect place to relax before hitting the road again. The cyclists now cross nearly 50 kilometers of meadows and streams.
For a lover of nature and for a bike tourist like me, nothing beats exploring this region.
Our cyclists decide to go off the beaten track in search of some unusual addresses near the border with the Jura region.
Hello.
Welcome to my studio.
They've come to meet Amandine, a ceramic artist.
We can start with a bowl, for example.
She was trained at the famous earthenware factory at Longchamp. She now makes unique pieces of stoneware and porcelain.
My dad is a carpenter, so working with natural materials runs in my veins.
Our last pit stop is Auxonne, a town fortified by the Marquis of Vauban in the 17th century. More than 7,000 boats drop anchor here near the quayside each year. It's a stunning sight at sunset.
Just look at this tonight. After a fantastic bike ride, you arrive here on the water's edge, where all's calm. What could be better?
The Saône has long been a favourite waterway for sailors, and thanks to the tourists who ride along its banks, the heritage of this region is kept alive.